afternoon. This is Gordon Donaldson again, doing another broadcast from my podcast to you. It is April right now, and I'm trying something a little different for as far as an intro. I was teleported to supposedly supposed to be a newer Galaxy class starship, but it looks like they transported me to the wrong air starship on board the Enterprise. And from what it looks like everybody's on break here, so I'm the only one here. I just wanted to give you a heads up on this month's intro and subject matter will be Brenda Lee, and I'm going to go into that more in depth. Because of the COVID situation, it seems to be dying down now, but things are starting to lighten up a lot, so I'll probably be able to get out more podcasts in near future, hopefully on a regular basis. But right now it's just a month-to-month thing, and so I'll just get off this thing right now and have them shoot me back over to where I'm supposed to be. And hope you enjoyed this month's podcast, and I'll get back to you. And I'm standing by. If you would, Scotty, who is ever in the teleporter, get me out of here. All right, I'll see you then too. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Gordon Donaldson, and I'm recording another Talkfest subject matter for this afternoon, being Brenda Lee. I'll get started right now. Brenda Lee was born Brenda May Tapler, born December 11th, 1944, known as Brenda Lee, is an American performer and top charting female vocalist of the 1960s. She sang rockabilly and country music and had 47 U.S. chart hits during the 1960s and is ranked fourth in that decade, surpassed only by Elvis, the Beatles, and Ray Charles. She is best known for her top 1960 I'm Sorry and 1958 Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, a U.S. holiday standard for more than 50 years. At 4 foot 9 inches, approximately 145 centimeters, she received the nickname Little Miss Dynamite in 1957 after recording the song Dynamite, and one of the earliest pop stars to have a major contemporary international following. Lee's popularity faded in the 1960s as her voice matured, but she continued a successful recording career by returning to her roots as a country singer and a string of hits throughout the 1970s, 1980s. She is a member of the Rock and Roll Country Music and Rockabilly Hall of Fame. She is also a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Brenda Lee currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Excuse me. Lee was born Brenda May Tarpley in the charity ward of Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. She weighed 4 pounds 4 ounces at birth. She attended grade school whenever her father found work, primarily in the corridor between Atlanta and Augusta. Her family was poor, living hand to mouth. She shared a bed with her 2 siblings in a series of 3-room houses without running water. Life centered on her parents finding work, their extended family, and the Baptist church where she sang solos every Sunday. Lee's father, Reuben Tarpley, was the son of a farmer in Georgia's Red Clay Belt. Although he stood 5 foot 7 inches, he was an excellent left-handed pitcher and spent 11 years in the U.S. Army playing baseball. Her mother, Annie Gracie Garbrell, had a similar background as an uneducated working-class family in Greene County, Georgia. Lee was a musical prodigy. Although her family did not have indoor plumbing until after her father's death, they had a battery-powered table radio that fascinated Brenda as a baby. By the time she was 2, she could whistle the melody of songs she heard on the radio. Both her mother and sister remembered taking them repeatedly to a local candy store before she turned 3. One of them would stand her on the counter and she would earn candy or coins for singing. Lee's voice pretty face and stage presence won her a wider attention from the time she was 5 years old. At age 6, she won a local singing contest sponsored by a local elementary school. The reward was a live appearance on an Atlanta radio show, Star Maker's Review, where she performed for the next year. Her father died in 1953, and by the time she turned 10, she was primarily the breadwinner of her family through singing at events and local radio and television shows. During that time, she appeared regularly on the country music show TV Ranch on WAGA-TV in Atlanta. She was so short, the host would lower a stand microphone as low as it could go and then stand her up on a wooden crate to reach it. In 1953, Gracie Tarpley was remarried to Well J. Rainwater, who moved the family to Cincinnati, where they worked at the Jimmy Skinner Music Center. Lee performed with Skinner at the record store on 2 Saturday program broadcasts over Newport, Kentucky radio station WNOB. The family soon returned to Georgia, however, this time to Augusta, and Lee appeared on the show The Peach Blossom Special at WJAT-AM in Swainsboro. Her break into big-time show business came in February of '55, where she turned down $30 to appear on a Swainsboro radio show in order to see Red Foley and a touring promotional unit of his ABC TV program Ozark Jubilee in Augusta. In Augusta, DJ persuaded Foley to hear her song before the show. Foley was transfixed as everyone else who heard the huge voice coming from this tiny girl and immediately agreed to let her perform Jambalaya on stage that night, unrehearsed. Foley later recounted the moments following her introduction. "I still get cold chills thinking about that time I heard that voice. One foot started patting rhythm as though she was stomping out a prairie fire, but not another muscle in that little body even as much as twitched. And when she did that trick of breaking her voice, it jarred me out of my trance enough to realize I'd forgotten to get off stage. There I stood after 26 years of supposedly learning how to conduct myself in front of an audience, with my mouth open 2 miles wide and a glassy stare in my eyes. The audience erupted in applause and refused to let her leave stage until she sang 3 more songs. On March 31st, '55, the 10-year-old made her network debut on Ozark Jubilee in Springfield, Missouri. Although her 5-year contract with the show was broken in a 1957 lawsuit brought on by her mother and her manager, she made regular appearances on the program throughout a run. Later than 2 months later, on July 30th, '56, Decca Records offered her a contract and first record Jambalaya backed up with a Bigelow S200, Lee's second single featured on a novelty Christmas tunes, I'm Gonna Lasso Santa Claus and Christy Christmas. Though she turned 12 on December 11th, '56, both of the 2 Decca singles credit her as Little Brenda Lee, 9 years old. Neither of the 1956 releases charted, but her first single in '57, One Step at a Time, written by Hugh Ashley, became a hit in both pop and country fields. Her next hit, Dynamite, came out of a 4-foot 9-inch frame, led her to a lifelong nickname, Little Miss Dynamite. Her first attracted attention performing in country music venues and shows. However, her label and management felt it best to market her exclusively as a pop artist. The result being that of none of the best-known recordings from 1960 were released to country music radio, and despite her country sound with top Nashville session people, she did not have another country hit till 1969 and Johnny One Time. Lee achieved her biggest success on pop charts in the 1950s through the 1960s with rockabilly and rock and roll style songs. Her biggest hits included Jambalaya, Sweet Nothings, country by country musician Ronnie Shelf, I Wanna Be Wanted, number 1, All Alone Am I, Fool, number 1. She also made hits with more pop-based songs, That's All You're Gonna Do, Emotions, You Can Depend on Me, and Dum Dum, and Break It to Me Gently, Everybody Loves Me But You, and As Usual. Lee's total 9 consecutive top 10 Billboard Hot 100 hits from That's All You Gotta Do in 1960, All Alone Am I in 1962 set a record for a female solo artist that was not equaled until 1986 and later broken by Madonna. The biggest selling track of Lee's career was a Christmas song in 1958 when she was 13. Producer Owen Bradley asked her to record a new song by Johnny Marks, who had success writing 6 Christmas tunes for country singers, most notably Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Gene Autry, A Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree in July was a prominent twanging guitar part by Hank Garland and rauncous sax solo by Nashville icon Boots Randolph. Decca released it as a single that in November, but it sold only 5,000 copies and did not much better when it released again in '59. However, it eventually sold more than 5 million copies. In 1960, she recorded her singular song, I'm Sorry, basically her signature song, which hit number 1. In November Billboard Pop Chart, it was her first gold single and was nominated for a Grammy. Even though she was not released as a country song, it was among the first hits to use became a Nashville sound. A string orchestra, a legato harmonized background vocals, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree got noticed, and its third release a few months later, and sales snowballed. The song remained a perennial favorite each December and is the record for which is most identified by contemporary artists. Her last top singles, the pop charts in 1963, Losing You, which she continued to have other chart songs such as Coming On Strong and Is It True. The latter featured Big Jim Sullivan, Jimmy Page on guitars, Bob Graham on drums, and her only solo single recorded in London, England, and was produced by Mickey Most. But the slide guitar and background singers were overdubbed in Nashville. It was recorded on Decca Records' No. 2 studio in West Hampstead Complex and was the B version of a version of Ray Charles' 1959 cult classic, What Did I Say?, which wasn't released in America. Lee was popular in the United Kingdom early in her career. She toured the UK in '59 before she had achieved much pop recognition in the US. Her 1961 rockabilly release, Let's Jump the Broomstick, recorded in 1959 and did not chart in the US but went number 12 in the UK. She then had 2 top hits in UK and were not released as singles in her native country. Speak to Me Pretty peaked number 3 in early 1962, was her greatest hit in the UK, followed by Here Comes That Feeling, which reached number 5. The latter was issued as a B-side to Everybody Loves Me But You, number 6 in the US. However, Here Comes That Feeling still made an appearance on Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 89. Brenda Lee also toured in Ireland and appeared in front of the Dancing and Entertainment magazine at that time. Spotlighted in 1963, she was one of the stars who came to Ireland that year. Lee enjoyed one distinctive, unique among successful American singers. Her opening act on the UK in the early 1960s was a little-known beat group from Liverpool, England, the Beatles. Brenda Lee toured with Tony Sheridan, The Bachelors, and Mike Berry in March of '63. During the early 1970s, Lee established herself as a country music artist and earned a string of top 10 hits on the country charts. The first was Nobody Wins, which reached top 5 spring and became her last 100 pop hit, peaking at 70. The following up, the Mark James composition, Sunday Surprise, reached number 6 Billboard Magazine Hot Country Singles chart that October. Other major hits included Wrong Ideas, Big 4-Poster Bed, and Rock On Baby, and Here's My Rock in 1975. After a few years of lesser hits, Lee began another run at top 10 with 1970 Tell Me What It's Like,